Today we're playing Modern Eggs. You might remember this as the second Sunrise deck from the Pro Tour. Well, in today's Modern, it's a Face Reward deck, and it's received some huge upgrades over the last few years, such as Bolas, Citadel, Urza Saga, and more recently, Beseech the Mirror. Let's go see the deck list. Hey, today we're playing Modern Eggs, and I would like to take a quick moment to thank Gavin Tomczyk for today's donation deck. Gavin, I really do appreciate your support. Modern Eggs is a passion deck for Gavin, who's been working on this deck nonstop, and Gavin thought that Beseech the Mirror was a huge upgrade for this deck. I mean, I've been playing this card all over the channel for the last month, and I'm excited to play it today in Modern. And this deck is really a face reward deck. So every permanent that was put to the graveyard this turn, you can return with face reward. So it's not just artifacts, but artifacts are mostly what we're looking at today. So we have Lotus Bloom, Orb, Chromatic Sphere, Chromatic Star, Conjurer's Bauble, Spellbomb, Golden Egg, tons of stuff. But it also includes lands like Ghost Quarter, Polluted Delta, Urza Saga. It's not just artifacts. So we're looking to create a mana and card advantage using these powerful 4-mana spells like Face Reward and Beseech the Mirror. We also have Reshape, which gets artifacts with mana value X. This is how we typically get Lotus Bloom onto the battlefield, but it can also get Bolas Citadel, which is capable of casting Lotus Bloom. Our backup plan is Urza Saga, and you can loop Pyrite Spellbomb, but most of the time in this deck, you just want to activate Bolas Citadel a few times. That is the deck. If you have any thoughts, comments, questions, suggestions, whatever, put those down below. I'll describe the deck more as we play it throughout the league. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the first match. Don't go anywhere. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicsforum.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicsforum.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Welcome to the first match. We are on the play. I have no clue what our opponent's playing, but it looks like they have a companion based on this pause. Our opponent reveals a Gigantha the Wellspring. We've opened up a hand with Beseech the Mirror, Orb, Chromatic Sphere. So we can play Saga on the first turn, filter Chromatic Sphere into a blue, and then cast Preordain. Is this good enough? I mean, I like Beseech the Mirror to go get Faith Reward, and we could sack all of our lands to the Orb, assuming that I hit them on time. It's worth noting that Urza Saga does not get Lotus Bloom. You might be thinking that it does because it costs 0 or 1. It does not get Lotus Bloom, unfortunately. Lotus Bloom actually doesn't have a mana cost of 0 or 1, which is the problem. So with Urza Saga, you can't get things that cost X, so you also can't get something like Engineered Explosives or Chalice of the Void. I feel like this hand might be a mulligan because like Open the Vaults is kind of expensive. We don't need 2 copies of Beseech the Mirror. I'll mulligan. And this hand is just so much better. Keep. Alright, we will get rid of the Chromatic Sphere. Okay, so we're not going to play the Saga on the first turn. I mean, I could, but I want to be able to create constructs with it. So that is my game plan here. Cast the Preordain. We'll keep the Chromatic Star. Pass the turn. Our opponent plays a Steam Vent, so this could be like an Izzet Blitz. I mean, it could just be Murktide, but obviously Murktide costs blue, which doesn't play well with Gigantha. It also means that they couldn't have counter-target spell in their deck. We find a Reshape. Our Lotus Blooms go to 2 counters. Saga triggers. Play the Chromatic Star. We will pass. In our opponent's upkeep, they cast Mutagenic Growth. So they are an Izzet Blitz deck, which means that this Bolas Citadel might not have a whole lot of life to work with by the time I'm able to cast it. They play a Preordain. They surveil away a Lightning Bolt. So now they're only one type away from this Channeler becoming Delirious. No land yet. Monastery Swiftspear. So currently it's 4 damage coming in. They still have 4 cards in hand. That's a lot. Alright, so here I will fall to 16 life. The Lotus Blooms go down to 1 counter, and we'll draw for turn. Ghost Quarter, that was a huge draw for us. Okay, so we'll play the Ghost Quarter, and let's just pass the turn. Our opponent plays a Scalding Tarn, which will give their Channeler Delirium. So now it's a 3/3 naturally without the benefit of the mutagenic growth. They have 4 cards in hand. We're at 16 life. They attack. Inside of combat, we will create a construct. Am I allowed to block? They're going to Lava Dart the construct token. Monastery Swiftspear gets a little bit bigger. And then they should be able to flashback this Lava Dart to pump up their Monastery Swiftspear again. And that's what they do. Okay, so currently 6 damage coming in. We're at 16 life. They still have 3 cards in hand. That is a Lightning Bolt at instant speed. They surveil away another Monastery Swiftspear. I'm at 13 life, 7 damage coming in. Become Immense. I believe I am dead. Holy moly, getting turn 3'd. Wow. That is 14 damage. We are dead. I was unable to win before those Lotus Blooms came off suspend. Wow. Tough break. And I think we would have had it on the following turn, but we were outraced. Holy moly. Okay, so we're facing a hyper aggro deck. I mean, I don't know how good Leyline of Sanctity is here. I mean, it obviously stops Lightning Bolt and Lava Dart, but they are a prowess deck. I mean, I think you're supposed to board them in, but I'm not super confident in this decision. I think even though they are a fast deck, I think we want to keep the option of Bolas the Citadel. I don't want to board that out. I don't know what I'm actually supposed to board out if I'm boarding in Leylines, because I don't think you're supposed to board out the artifacts. I feel like that's probably wrong. So it ends up being like a consistency card like Preordain. I think we can probably cut the Deadly Dispute. And then let's try like 2 Preordain and I don't know. We'll board out 1 Beseech. Let's try this. On the play. Our opponent once again reveals Gigantha. Here we have a slowish hand. But I think it might be okay. We'll keep. It might not be fast enough without having something like Reshape into the Lotus Bloom. I'm unsure. We'll play the Flooded Strand, and then I think we just want to play out Chromatic Star in case we draw into Reshape. Opponent plays a Scalding Tarn. Steam Vents into Soulscar Mage. Reshape was a good one. Okay. Let's play the Godless Shrine. And then I'll play the Pyrite Spellbomb. Pass the turn. They have a Mishra's Bauble. They activate it on themselves. They play a Preordain. Their creature's now a 3/4. And another Soulscar Mage. We get hit for 3. We're at 16. They draw a card off Bauble. They now have 5 cards in hand. We'll draw for turn. Another Chromatic Star. I'm at 16. Do we think that they're going to turn 3 me twice? So I could go Reshape, sacrificing Chromatic Star or the Pyrite Spellbomb. Probably the Spellbomb. Filter mana, Faith's Reward, off of the Beseech the Mirror, sacking the Pyrite Spellbomb. So we're going to draw like 1 free card here. I feel like and make 1 extra mana. I think that's a little bit aggressive. Instead, I'm going to play out this extra Chromatic Star and just hope that we get a turn 4. They have land number 3. Expressive Iteration. Okay. The card they revealed was, excuse me, Mutagenic Growth. Preordain. They cast the Mutagenic Growth. So they're currently attacking for 10. That's a lot. Okay, we're at 6. In our upkeep, we will fetch with the Polluted Delta because we want this land to come back in the middle of our Faith's Reward loops. We'll draw, and if you fetch in your upkeep, you are not likely to draw the land as often. So that's another thing. Hitting Beseech the Mirror was pretty good. Okay, so first things first, let's Reshape, sacrificing the Pyrite Spellbomb. We'll grab Lotus Bloom. And then we can cycle with the Chromatic Star, just to draw a card. Bolas the Citadel at 4 life, not the best. Okay, and now we can sacrifice here. I guess I didn't need to float the mana. We could... I can't float blue. That doesn't work that way. We'll just leave the Godless Shrine untapped. Beseech the Mirror, sacrificing Chromatic Star. We draw a Chromatic Sphere. And now we'll grab Faith's Reward. We will cast it. Okay, so we're at 4 right now. Let's go to 2. Swamp. And then this can grab the island. Play Chromatic Sphere. And we'll start cycling. Another Fate's Reward. That's a good one. Okay, so we'll make another mana here. Zuran Orb. I think that's going to lock it up. Okay, that was an amazing hit. We'll make a blue. And let's draw a card off this Spellbomb. And now we can sacrifice our lands. And with the Zuran Orb, we're gaining life for this Bolas' Citadel, but we're also putting permanents to the graveyard for this Fate's Reward. Would I like to pay 2 life? No. And our opponent concedes. Nice. Okay, we have stolen game number 2. That was wonderful. Now we have to get game number 3 on the draw. I think I probably should have boarded in Snapback in the previous game. So we'll do that now. Just like being able to interact for free while we're setting up our combo is pretty good. Maybe I want all the Beseeches in. Perhaps we just say we don't need any sculpting on the draw when we have these ley lines. Obviously, it makes Snapback a little sketchy, only having reshapes to pitch. So maybe that's not the best idea. I don't know how good Codex Shredder is, so maybe we board that one out. Bring back in some Preordain. We'll cut another Beseech and have 3 Preordain, so that way we get a little bit more sculpting. And let's try this. I have no idea what I'm doing, by the way. So if you're watching this going like, Bryant's so bad. Sure, I believe you. I've played eggs twice in my life. Like, it's not something I'm used to. So they reveal their Gigantha. Here we have a hand full of artifacts. No way to get Lotus Bloom. I think this hand might be a trap. I'm going to mulligan. Okay, this one's pretty good. So I think we're supposed to... Am I supposed to bottom the Lotus Bloom here? I think so. Put the bloom on the bottom. I am very nervous. Turn 1 Steam Vents. Dragon's Rage Channeler. Mishra's Bauble. Okay. They're halfway to Delirium already. They draw off the Bauble, we'll draw for turn. Polluted Delta was a good one. I will take 2, and we can play out our Chromatic Star. Pass the turn. Monastery Swiftspear. They have a Scalding Tarn. There's the Stomping Ground. Mishra's Bauble. They now have Delirium. A Lava Dart. They're coming in hot. I don't even know if I'll get a turn 3. They're attacking for 6. Yikes. Okay, I'm at 11. They go up to 3 cards in hand. We draw a Lotus Bloom. It's not very good here. Play the Delta. And I think I'm just going to play the Spellbomb here and pass the turn. Another Monastery Swiftspear. They fetch down to 14 life. Expressive Iteration. You've got it. They reveal a Mutagenic Growth. How much damage is this? 11? I am dead. I did not get a turn 3. That's Modern. Sometimes you just don't get to play. So we are starting this league off 0-1. Not a lot we could have done there, but perhaps I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments section. But for now, we'll head on over to match number 2. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. Match number 2, our opponent reveals another Gigantha. Do we think that they're on Izzet Prowess? I don't know, but I think I'm actually going to keep this one. Mishra's Bauble. Wooded Foothills. It looks like it could be Izzet Prowess again. We draw another Fate's Reward. We'll play Urza Saga that triggers. And then we'll play Chromatic Star. Suspend the Lotus Bloom. Pass. Alright, so it's not Izzet Prowess. They grab a Blood Crypt. And they bolt me. Okay. So we are facing Jund. They play a Stomping Ground. Tarmogoyf. Classic. Lotus Bloom loses a Suspend counter. We will get that on turn 4, assuming we have a turn 4. And we draw a Polluted Delta. Play Urza Saga. Pass the turn. Tarmogoyf goes to combat. They attack. We'll take 3 down to 14 life. Another Tarmogoyf. Different set, though. This one's from Future Sight. Alright, 1 Suspend counter left on Lotus Bloom. We draw another Preordain. And this Saga goes up to 3. I guess we can float a mana. It doesn't really matter. Is it bad that I kind of just want to grab Zern Orb? I think that's the play. Alright, so we have a Zern Orb. I can now activate my Polluted Delta without fear of not having it on the next turn. We'll grab Basic Island, and let's just make a construct. Our opponent might have something like a Fatal Push, but this is a way of potentially creating a speed bump for us. We have a Lightning Bolt, that's fine. The Tarmogoyfs are now 4 or 5 creatures, so getting hit for 8 here will put me down to 5. They attack, we'll take 8. Ouch. A Wren and 6. This will get back their Wooded Foothills. And it does. They're passing, okay. Great news. Lotus Bloom. Yes, I would like to cast it. Draw for turn. It's a Conjurer's Bauble. We'll float mana with the Urza Saga. Grab a Chromatic Star. Okay. So step 1, we'll float a blue, sacrifice the land to Zern Orb, play the Conjurer's Bauble, and we can just start cycling some of these stars right away. We draw an island, and then another Chromatic Star. Guess I'll play the island, which means that I can play this Chromatic Star and then still cast the Faith's Reward this turn. Sacrifice the island to Zern Orb. Cycle it. We'll Bauble, putting back, like, I don't know, Urza Saga. One of the ones that didn't die this turn. We draw Beseech, and now we will face Reward, getting everything back. Alright, we are back. I had a slight technical issue that I thought my opponent was just, like, tilting or something from face Reward, but it turns out that my Magic Online just crashed. So we are down on clock now, unfortunately, and I'm going to try to speed this up. Okay, we're going to make some mana, and then sacrifice our lands to gain life. Let's make some white mana off this Lotus Bloom. Put the Faith's Reward back on the bottom of the deck. Make some black mana. Okay. Just trying to go about this quickly. Drew another Lotus Bloom, that's unfortunate. If I Beseech the Mirror, I lose 1 mana. So that's actually not a great play because I can't get Lotus Bloom. Actually, I could get Lotus Bloom, so let's do that. I was thinking about Bolas' Citadel, but I can Lotus Bloom into Faith's Reward, and that's pretty good here. Cast the Lotus Bloom. Beseech is so good in this deck, let me tell you. And now we will Faith's Reward. Actually, I should play out the Bauble. Put the Beseech back on the bottom. Faith's Reward, get everything back. Okay, so we'll sacrifice this for black. Play our Bolas' Citadel. Plenty of life now. Play Preordain, we go to 14. Those can both go on the bottom. Chromatic Sphere. We cannot play Ghost Quarter. I'm going to sacrifice our lands. Let's just get this out of the way. Okay, and then the last one. Down to 16 minutes already, just because of that stupid bug. Let's make white off the Lotus Bloom. We'll put the Faith's Reward back on the bottom. Play another Sphere. So how we win is we're going to Citadel twice. We'll Reshape, sacrificing Chromatic Star. This will get another Lotus Bloom. Play the Golden Egg. Okay, that triggers, we draw a card. There's a Faith's Reward. So let's sacrifice this for white. We're trying to get to 10 permanents here so we can just quickly kill them with the Citadel. Play the egg. Actually, do I want to play the egg? All right, we have 10. I'm going to hold priority on this Faith's Reward. And then I'm going to activate the Citadel. Sacrificing the Citadel itself. And I'm just trying to go quickly here. Okay, so everything will come back and then we'll activate Citadel again. 10 minutes down on clock from the start of the match. Okay, and then we'll just activate the Citadel again. And that'll do. So that is game number 1 versus Jund. Sweet. And against Jund, we probably need these ley lines versus their discard. We probably want bounce spells for the Dauthi Voidwalkers. I have not been impressed by Codex Shredder yet. There's probably matchups where this is really good. I'm just not as experienced with this deck. Okay, 63 cards. We probably want the Snapback and the Echoing Truths. Like, we just cannot afford to lose the Dauthi Voidwalker. Board out the Open the Vaults and preordain 1 Beseech. Let's try this. Once again, I am not an expert Eggs player. This is my third time ever playing the deck, so take my suggestions with a grain of salt. Game number 2, we're on the draw. This hand looks amazing. We'll keep, put the Leyline into play. Mishra's Bauble. Blood Crypt, okay. They draw off their Bauble. I mean, this was a pretty good hand for us. Play the Lotus Bloom. Play the Swamp. Chromatic Sphere. Pass the turn. They have a Stomping Ground. Tarmogoyf, sure. Lotus Bloom loses a Suspend counter again. Another Reshape. Play Chromatic Sphere, will pass. They play a Bloodstained Mire and quickly activate it for Overgrown Tomb. They're going to Besiege you, the Leyline. That's not great for us. So we will go get a land. Probably Watery Grave. And Thoughtseize. So we're probably going to lose our Beseech the Mirror. And we do. Our opponent can now attack us for 4. We go to 16. One more turn on this Lotus Bloom. Urza's Saga. Okay. So now we're 1 mana short of Reshape into Bolas' Citadel. Pass the turn. Our opponent has 3 cards in hand. They attack for 4, will fall to 12 life. And another Tarmogoyf. Okay. They have 2 cards left. Nile Spellbomb. That is a huge one here. Blowing up the Leyline, very relevant with Nile Spellbomb. Okay, so Lotus Bloom coming off Suspend. We need a land here. Draw. It was a land. Play the land. We'll fetch down to 11. Grab the island. But I think I just want to tap the Ghost Quarter. I mean, I could destroy one of my own lands, but I don't think that's the best move. And then we'll make 3 blue here. Reshape for 6. Sacrificing Chromatic Sphere. We need to hit a lot of runners in order to win this game, but it is possible. Bolas' Citadel. Leyline, we go to 7. And it would shut off the Nile Spellbomb. If they don't Spellbomb me here, we might actually have the win. They Spellbomb me. They saw through it. Bummer. Our opponent, very smart. Okay, we have to. Not even a choice here. We're going to sacrifice the Urza Saga to the Beseech the Mirror. We can go get Zurin Orb. I could also go get a Conjurer's Bauble to clear the draws, but I think we just need to gain the life. The problem is if I fizzle, it's really bad for us. So alternatively, I could get a Lotus Bloom, so that way I could Reshape again, just to shuffle. Maybe Lotus Bloom is actually the pick here. Alright, I talked myself into Lotus Bloom. We'll cast the Lotus Bloom. We'll go to 2 life and bounce a Tarmogoyf. 1 life and we'll play a Pyrite Spellbomb. So now I'll make 3 blue. And we will cast the Reshape. Done. Sacrificing Pyrite Spellbomb. And now we'll grab Zurin Orb. Let's sacrifice some lands. This deck is sweet. I mean, I don't know how good it is, but it's really sweet. I'll have a better idea by the end of the league. I don't want to say that a deck isn't good when I just don't have the reps with it. That's not fair. So now we'll Reshape, sacrificing the Zurin Orb. We're at 7. Grab a Lotus Bloom. We'll go down to 6. We'll play the Chromatic Sphere. Snap back. We will go to 4 and bounce the Tarmogoyf. Echoing Truth. Interesting. I'm going to draw a card here. Beseech. I can't cast that one. Ooh, that's actually really awkward. So if I draw it with the Chromatic Sphere, I have to sack the Citadel, but that actually might be fine. Okay, this is fine. We'll draw a card. And now we can bargain away Bolas' Citadel here. Yeah, this works. Holy moly. Fate's Reward, welcome. This is a turn 4 through Besiege you, Thoughtseize, Nile Spellbomb, and a Fast Clock. Okay, we get a bunch of triggers, and another Fate's Reward right on top of our deck. I'm not going to use the Ghost Quarter here. I don't think we need to. I'd rather gain some life. And having direct access to this Fate's Reward is so good. I could cycle a Spellbomb or whatever, but I don't want to. Okay, gaining tons of life. Let's make a red. And we will then Spellbomb them. Play Chromatic Star. Bolas' Citadel, so good. I love this card. Conjurer's Bauble. Another Reshape. We don't need to do that. I don't have 10 permanents. Let's put Face Reward back in the deck. We'll make a blue and draw a card. Draw another card. Golden Egg, that will bring us down to 10 life. Draws the Hollowed Fountain, Chromatic Star. Okay. Let's filter into a blue, I guess. Golden Egg. Let's just Face Reward and then this. What am I doing? Okay, everything's coming back. No, we're not going to pay any life. We will Spellbomb our opponent. And then activate Bolas' Citadel. Eggs is fun. And it looks like we're about to get our first match win. How about that? When we get to turn 4, we are able to win. That is what I think so far of Eggs. We are officially 1-1. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and Mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. Match number 3, we're on the draw, and I think that this hand is outstanding. We will keep it. So one thing I have noticed is that I feel like draws in which you have Urza Saga, the deck functions a lot better. Gavin, this is not shade at you, but you did not include 4 Urza Saga in your deck list today. I think that I'd like the 4th Urza Saga. Just a suggestion from someone who has no idea what they're talking about. We'll play the first turn Chromatic Star and then pass the turn. We grab a Triome, okay. Flooded Strand or Breeding Pool. Okay, is this like Domain Zoo? It is, okay. So Domain Zoo, a very fast deck, but it's also a deck that has 4 counter spells in it with Stubborn Denial. Saga goes to the second chapter. I feel like I made an error in judgment. I don't think I was supposed to play the Saga on the first turn, because it's going to deny me the 4th mana on the Beseech the Mirror turn. Yeah, that's definitely just a mistake. Okay, so now we'll play out the Watery Grave and pass. Our opponent plays a basic Plains. They have 5 cards in hand. The Territorial Kavu also exiles cards in graveyards, but we're trying to put all of our cards to the graveyard on 1 turn. So we're going to take 5 here. We fall to 15. Or Rent and 6. You got it. They return a land. Yeah, I feel like I messed up. I wasn't supposed to play Saga on the first turn. This game might be my own fault. We will grab the Zern Orb. Play Polluted Delta. Also, I'm not a big fan of this Codex Shredder. This is a card that maybe more experienced players see a lot of value in this, but I don't know. It doesn't feel that good to me. I get that it's like 5 mana colorless regrowth, but I'm not super into it. And it has some synergies with Bolas' Citadel, but I don't know. I feel like it's just not good enough on its own. It allows you to create a deterministic loop when you're like super far ahead late, I guess. Like, because you're allowed to have like triple Lotus Bloom, and then you have your base for reward, and it allows you to loop it infinitely. So that's where the Codex Shredder is good. I just don't have enough experience with this deck to really know like how often that's super relevant, or if that's just like a win more line you have access to. So we'll fall to 10 here. Ouch. Up the beanstalk. So that means that they're likely a Leyline Binding deck. I mean, we could have assumed based on them being 5 colors, but Domain Zoo usually doesn't play Leyline Binding in my experience. Lotus Bloom. A little bit late to the party. Let's play a Flooded Strand and just pass the turn. The Wrenn and 6 returns another land. They play Windswept Heath, and now they go to combat. We'll take 5 down to 5 life. They discard another land. Okay. Preordain. So we'll play our Swamp, activate Flooded Strand. They're going to bolt me. I will respond by activating Polluted Delta. I go to 3. Grab another Swamp, and we can Zern Orb to sacrifice our lands. Alright, we go up to 8. Or no, I'm sorry, we go up to 9, which means that we live through. Oh, I guess we're dead to the. We've already paid the life. Okay, we're not dead to the. What is it called? Tribal Flames. Make another mana here. sacrifice it, we'll gain 2 up to 8 life. We'll create a black mana using the Chromatic Star. We draw a card. It's an Urza Saga. We'll cycle the Chromatic Sphere. I guess we'll mill them with a Codex Shredder. We mill the Tribal Flames. Ooh. And now we'll sacrifice the Codex Shredder and attempt a face reward. Actually, is this even good? I don't know what this does. We'll cast it. Let's see if they had the Stubborn Denial. Would I like to pay 2 life? I think the answer is yes. Okay, so let's fetch again. I go to 5. Grab a Hallowed Fountain. Ouch. And then we'll go to 2 and use Polluted Delta. Grab an island. Preordain. I don't really want either of these, so we'll bottom both. We did not find the next payoff, so we'll cast another Preordain. I can't afford to waste mana on Chromatic Sphere right now, so we'll bottom both. Another Lotus Bloom. Things are starting to look a little bit dicey. We will use Chromatic Sphere. We drew Beseech the Mirror. That's huge. Okay, so now let's use Zerun Orb, and we'll sacrifice all of our stuff. They're going to Leyline Binding. We're just going to continue to sacrifice our lands. Okay. We have no main deck removal spell for this Leyline Binding. We are now at 12, and our opponent will draw a card off of Up the Beanstalk. They're going to target the orb. That happens. We can't do a whole lot about it. Beseech the Mirror is a sorcery, and we'll gain 2 life. We go up to 14. We can Beseech the Mirror away the Chromatic Star. We draw a land, and now we'll go get another copy of Fate's Reward. Cast it. This time I'm not going to pay the life. Or will I? Yeah, I'm probably supposed to pay the life. Alright, I'm at 12. We'll activate Flooded Strand. We only have a couple draws here. We only really have these 2 stars. I guess I could pay 5 for the Codex Shredder, but that's not even very good. Okay, we'll increase our odds by pulling out that last land. I go to 8. We'll make a black and draw a card. Conjurer's Bauble. I mean, that puts it on the bottom. It does give us a redraw. We'll draw again. Reshape. So that could get a Lotus Bloom. It thins our deck, but unless this Conjurer's Bauble rips an amazing card, I believe we're dead. 3 mana floating. I'm 1 mana short of Bolas' Citadel. It's an 8 mana line and we have 7. So I guess I'll Reshape. Sacrifice the Codex Shredder. Grab a Lotus Bloom. Play the Conjurer's Bauble. Or maybe I should have bobbled first to increase my odds of drawing Fate's Reward. Okay, I just messed up a slight misplay there. Because I could have had 1 more Fate's Reward in my deck. And the verdict is Ghost Quarter. We have sufficiently fizzled. And I will concede. So, small error in judgment there. My bad. Okay, so we probably want some number of bounce spells. Or maybe we just want Thoughtseize. Not sure about this Deadly Dispute. It just doesn't seem like a card I actually want. We'll board out the Codex Shredder. And 1 copy of Beseech the Mirror. Let's try this. I think instead of bouncing Leyline Binding where your opponent can just replay it, I'd rather try discarding it first. Because if you bounce a Leyline Binding, you can get usage of your permanent like 1 time and then they get to exile it again. It's really not that great. Alright, so this doesn't seem amazing to me, but the upside here is that we do have double Reshape into Lotus Bloom, so we can find a Fate's Reward. This hand actually does pretty cool stuff. Grab a Watery Grave, ouch. Play a Conjurer's Bauble, pass the turn. They play a Triome, Chromatic Sphere. Okay. We'll grab a basic this time. You don't want to lose too much life. Play the Sphere, play Conjurer's Bauble, pass the turn. I need one of those 4 mana cards like Beseech the Mirror or Fate's Reward right now. Territorial Kavu, okay. We'll draw for turn. It's an Urza Saga, not a bad one. Our plan B coming to life. They discard a card and then draw a card. So we'll take 5 down to 11. Up the Beanstalk, you've got it. Another Wooded Foothills. You draw for turn and it's basic Swamp. Okay, I mean, we're not really drawing all that well right now. I think I'm going to play out the Zerun Orb. They could have the Leyline Binding, which I'm a little bit worried about, but I'd rather have this get exiled than possibly die. So that is why I'm playing it out. It also means that our Urza Saga construct would be a 5/5, so it could possibly trade with this Territorial Kavu. And they have the Leyline Binding. Okay. Goodbye, Zurin Orb. Maybe I was supposed to board in like one Echoing Truth just so I could tutor for it. Also, just a thought. Otawara seems like a pretty good include in this deck. I could see like an Otawara somewhere in the mana base. They're attacking with the Kavu. I will attempt to make a 4/4. They discard a land. Attempt to block. Alright, so we're still at 11. They have 6 cards in hand. Itzeku consumes all, so it's going to destroy all permanents that cost 1. Pretty good against us. So, I mean, we're probably dead here. Maybe I wasn't supposed to put a land in. Maybe that's fine. Yeah, I don't think I was supposed to put a land back in the deck. That was just a mistake. Okay, so that will now trigger. We don't have anything. Feels pretty unlikely that we win from here. Base reward. So we will tap our Urza Saga, grab a Chromatic Star, and now we will reshape, sacrifice that star, and go get a Lotus Bloom. We drew a land. That's a bummer. I really was hoping to draw 1-mana artifact there. Okay, so we have a Lotus Bloom. Play the Polluted Delta. We'll activate it. This will bring me down to 10 life. Grab the island, I guess. Make white with Lotus Bloom, and we'll cast the Fate's Reward. Saga triggers. And now we'll fetch. I'm at 9. Grab another basic. We will reshape away the Chromatic Star. We drew another star. That's a good one. I like that. We'll grab another Lotus Bloom. Play the star. Filter it for a white. Ooh, another Fate's Reward. Good deal. So we'll make blue, black, Fate's Reward. You might be wondering why I'm not beseeching here. I want to keep this as an extra Fate's Reward. We'll fetch again. Not having access to the Zurin Orb, pretty painful. I don't think mana's the bottleneck anymore, so I'm going to quit paying life. Make a blue. Love the draw of another artifact. Make another blue. I messed that up. I was supposed to keep the Chromatic Star on the table. I'm just playing too quickly because I'm nervous about the clock. Alright, I'm going to draw a card here. I definitely just messed that up. I was supposed to cycle the Chromatic Sphere, not the Star. And we got lucky and drew a Pyrite Spellbomb. Okay. So now I'll add blue, black. Oh, I have the Urza Saga to bargain. What am I talking about? Ignore me. So I'll cycle using a blue mana here. The Golden Egg. Sure, that's fine. This triggers. Our opponent now fetching with Windswept Heath. They grab a Temple Garden and another Leyline Binding. Interesting. We'll filter into a black. I mean, draw a card. And now we will Beseech the Mirror, sacrificing the Urza Saga. Alright, we have 1 copy of Fate's Reward left. Cast it. Auto yield. Or do I have to stack them? Okay. 12 minutes on the clock. We draw Reshape. Let's cast that. Sacrifice the Golden Egg. Actually, could I get Citadel here? Grab Godless Shrine. Ouch. The question is, do I want Citadel at 5 life? Yeah, I mean, I have 8 mana, but the question is, does Citadel win? So let's start by cycling. Another Lotus Bloom, that was terrible. Okay. Conjurer's Bauble. Golden Egg. We're at 5 life. The Spellbomb would take me off of Citadel. Part of me thinks that Citadel might not be good enough. Alright, I'm going to play the Conjurer's Bauble. Let's put a reward on the bottom. Draw a card. Useless Thoughtseize, okay. Now let's reshape. We'll sacrifice the Golden Egg. Grab the Lotus Bloom. Draw a card off the Spellbomb. Another Chromatic Sphere. Play Sphere. Cycle it. We draw a Ghost Quarter. Play Chromatic Sphere. I think this might be our last draw. Cycle. Preordain. Okay, we have 21 cards left in deck. Beseech the Mirror. That does it. Because we could sacrifice the Saga. Okay, so we'll sacrifice Saga. 20 cards left. 9 minutes on clock. Fate's Reward. Cast it. Okay, so things are looking a little bit better now. Let's just start off by making mana. Let's put a Fate's Reward on the bottom. Preordain. Put Thoughtseize on the bottom. We'll take the Preordain. Cast another Preordain. Base reward, how lovely. Make a red. We'll Spellbomb them. Preordain. We're just looking for Bolas' Citadel now. Reshape isn't very good. Another Conjurer's Bauble. We'll take that. Put another face reward on the bottom. It's been a long game. Okay, just keep cycling. Trying to click quickly. 8 minutes left on clock. Open the vaults. Thoughtseize. 10 cards left in deck. Fate's Reward. Sorry, that was the other card. So everything's coming back. We have not found the Citadel yet. Play a star. Fate's Reward on the bottom. Fate's Reward on the bottom. Okay, so let's cycle for black. There's the Citadel. I don't have 10 permanents right now, though. That would put me to 1, and that should do it. Okay. 7 minutes left on the clock, and we have won game number 2. That was terrifying. Not having Zern Orb made that way more difficult than it needed to be. Let's bring in 1 Echoing Truth. Take out, like, 1 Preordain, I guess. Or 1 Thoughtseize. I kind of like the Preordains. Let's submit and try to win quickly. Sure, we'll keep. Our opponent plays 1 So Teeth, and they're just passing. I mean, if I'm them, they're probably thinking about timing me out right now. We'll Preordain. I think we want both of these. Pass the turn. They play a Flooded Strand. Into Breeding Pool. Territorial Kavu? Yep. Okay, we'll play Ghost Quarter. Play the Golden Egg. Another Conjurer's Bauble. I guess that's the first one. Sorry, I'm just really nervous. There's 6 minutes on the clock. Our opponent is attacking. Okay. I'm at 15. Another Kavu. That's 10 damage next turn. A Tribal Flames would kill me. We draw a Chromatic Star. Alright, so I can play Ghost Quarter here. Make a blue. Ghost Quarter myself, getting another island. Reshape. Doesn't really make a whole lot of mana. I think I'm supposed to just play out some artifacts this turn. Hope that I live. I think going for it there is like pretty risky. Okay. If you have the Tribal Flames, I'm dead. They grab a Sacred Foundry. Leyline Binding. Yep. They go for the star. And now they attack. They get 2 triggers. They discard a Steam Vents. And a Scion of Draco. I'm at 5. Chalice of the Void on 1. Okay. That's brutal. They play Beseech you for turn. 2 mana. And a Renin 6. I don't know how we're going to do this, but I'm going to attempt it. Okay, we will Ghost Quarter our island. Yes. Grab another island. Ghost Quarter our island again. Grab a swamp. Sacrifice the Golden Egg. Grab a Lotus Bloom. Conjurer's Bauble, but back, I don't know, I shouldn't have done it. There's a Chalice in play. I'm just really nervous. Cycle the Chromatic Sphere. We draw a Reshape. Fate's Reward. Auto yield to this. I don't know if I can win in 5 minutes. Okay, destroy a land. Yes. Destroy a land. Yes. Sacrifice the Golden Egg. Grab another Lotus Bloom. Put the Fate's Reward on the bottom. Cycle. Beseech the Mirror. Doesn't help yet. Fate's Reward. Okay, so my plan right now is I think I'm going to go get Citadel. I could have tapped differently there. Alright, we'll go grab Citadel. Really nervous. Play the Citadel. Go to 4. Auto yield. We'll add white. Draw the Fate's Reward. Play the land. Put the reward on the bottom. Lotus Bloom. Alright, maybe I can slow down a little bit. Or maybe I should gain life with this egg. 2 mana to gain life? Okay, now we'll Fate's Reward. Clear the Godless Shrine off the top of the deck. Let's fetch. I don't know if I can do this in 3 minutes. Maybe I'm wrong. Ooh, Zern Orb. Okay. See how quickly I can sacrifice all of my lands. Opponent purposely not F6ing, hoping that I mess up with the pauses. Okay. 3 minutes officially on clock. And now we'll sacrifice the Ghost Quarter. I'm not going to sacrifice the Watery Grave because if it comes back off of Fate's Reward, I don't want to have to click. No, I don't want to pay 2 life. We have 2 draws here to clear the top of our deck between Conjurer's Bauble and Chromatic Sphere. All right, we're going to put Fate's Reward back on the bottom. Beseech, we will cast that and sacrifice Golden Egg. Oh, I could have gotten that Fate's Reward. Bummer. Fate's Reward, cast it. Golden Egg draws a card. Another Fate's Reward. I don't have enough yet. Let's just draw a card here. Put this one on the bottom. We need 10 permanents. We have 7 right now. Conjurer's Bauble will be countered. Lotus Bloom. Okay. Another Fate's Reward. I'll draw a card. Play the Star. Golden Egg. This brings me down to 11. Let's reshape. Sacrifice Golden Egg. There's no artifacts left? Okay. It's Fate's Reward. Draws a card. Do I have 10 now? 5. I have exactly 10. But I need a white somewhere in here. Yeah, I don't have a white mana floating, so I can't do this. I'll fetch. I need another permanent. But I don't think I have one in my deck. I have 1 Golden Egg. Sacrifice a Golden Egg. I'm not going to have enough time. If this was untimed, I would win. But I'm just not going to be able to do this. Okay. Open the vaults. Does that do it? Alright, I'm going to cast Open the Vaults. Let's see how quickly we can click. 1:24. Alright, so we have to sacrifice the Citadel itself. Click yes. Holy moly, I think we're going to do it. My heart's racing right now. Fate's Reward. 1:10, there should be plenty of time here to click on 10 permanents. Gavin, I don't know why you did this to me. I do not like this one bit. And now we tap the Citadel one more time. Okay. I believe that we've done it through a Chalice of the Void on 1. Holy moly, we're 2-1. Gavin, I'm so mad at you right now, but that was exhilarating. Let's see if we can win match number 4. If you're still watching, make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. Match number 4, we are on the play. Yeah, this seems great. We'll play a swamp, suspend Lotus Bloom, and pass the turn. Basic Forest, Ignoble Hierarch. Okay. Lotus Bloom loses a counter. We'll take a draw. Another Ghost Quarter. That's fine. Play a Golden Egg. Chromatic Sphere was a good draw. Opponent plays a Wooded Foothills for Stomping Ground. Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Okay. Lotus Bloom once again loses that suspend counter. Codex Shredder. How much I don't care about you. Alright, we'll play the Shredder. Play Chromatic Sphere. Pass the turn. They discard another copy of Fable of the Mirror Breaker and a Bone Crusher Giant. The Goblin attacks it, gets the Exalted trigger, and makes a treasure here. So they now have 5 available mana. They use their Verdant Catacombs for an Ancient Tomb, so they're some sort of Jund deck. I'm not really sure what's going on here. Utopia Sprawl. Like, it looks a little bit like Ponza, but the Ponza decks don't play black. So maybe the Black Splash is free enough when you have Ignoble Hierarch and Overgrown Tomb. I'm just not sure. Let's mill them for 1. Utopia Sprawl. Okay. We will cast the Lotus Bloom. Take a draw. Land was fetch land was actually a pretty good hit here. So we'll grab a Watery Grave so that way we have more targets for the Ghost Quarters later. Destroy the Watery Grave. Or maybe I was supposed to destroy the Swamp. I figured it was free, but it's actually not. Yeah, I probably should have left the Watery Grave in play. That's my bad. Inexperience showing itself here. Let's filter into a black. Filter into a black. Another Beseech the Mirror. We will cast 1, sacrificing this Codex Shredder. And we will grab a Lotus Bloom. Cast the Lotus Bloom. If our opponent has an Endurance, we're dead here, but no point in playing around something that we can't beat. So let's just do what we can. Fate's Reward. They have the Endurance. I will concede to that. Our deck is very, very weak against that card. Okay, so one thing that is good against Endurance is Leyline of Sanctity, so we'll bring that in. We'll also board in Thoughtseize. Get rid of this Deadly Dispute. Probably force to take out the Preordains here. We just don't have this deck space. Maybe 1 Beseech the Mirror. If I keep on boarding out this Codex Shredder, people are going to be angry in the comments, but I hate that card. I don't think it's very good. I mean, I think the worst card in the deck right now is the Codex Shredder. Let's do a golden egg. Okay. This is clunky. And we have the stupid Codex Shredder. We'll keep Polluted Delta, we'll fetch Watery Grave. Play the star. Pass. We have to hope to hit a land. Delighted Halfling. Conjurer's Bauble. So the one upside here is that Open the Vaults returns everything, so even something that we would mill with a Codex Shredder. But we would have to get to that point where it's relevant. Play the Conjurer's Bauble. Return nothing, draw a card. Just hoping for land 2 here. We missed. Pass the turn. Our opponent plays a Verdant Catacombs. Utopia Sprawl. Fable of the Mirrorbreaker. Okay. We have found land 2. We could set up a Reshape for next turn, but we're still a little bit short on mana. Play a Sphere and a Shredder. Just going to target myself. We milled a Faith's Reward, not what I wanted to happen. Or maybe milling Faith's Reward is fine. Like, we're looking for lands here. They discard a Fury and a Delighted Halfling. They attack, they make a treasure. Karn the Great Creator, huh? Yikes. Can our deck beat a Karn the Great Creator? The answer is actually just no. Let's look at my sideboard. Every bounce spell is in the sideboard. Yeah, Otawara would be a hypothetical out here, but there's no chance that I beat a Karn. I guess we could theoretically win with Urza's Saga over and over again. Let's see if they name the Urza Saga. Polluted Delta. I'm good to just pick it up here. So we are now 2-2 with one match left to go. With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week? We've made it simple to do so by including a button to rent the entire deck at theepicstorm.com/decklist. The 5th and final match, we are on the play. I don't think we're allowed to keep a 5-lander. We will mulligan. This is interesting. Keep. Get rid of Beseech the Mirror. Alright, really hoping to draw a second land on turn 2. Play Urza Saga, and then we'll pass the turn. Oh no, undo. Turn off auto yields. Ah, I'm an idiot. Okay. I got ahead of myself, and I thought that I would just not narrate suspending Lotus Bloom, and then I didn't do it like a dummy. I am so terribly sorry. Now we are a turn behind this entire game. I'm a real dummy. Can't take me anywhere. I am sorry, Gavin. I am the worst. Our opponent has a Jetmir's Garden and a Wooded Foothills. Steam Vent, so another 5-color pile here. Renin 6. They return the Wooded Foothills. What was I thinking? Chromatic Star. We'll float a mana with the Urza Saga. But I think we just want to grab another star here. Play the Golden Egg. Triggers. We draw a Swamp. That was a good one. Play another star and pass the turn. Our opponent grabs a Blood Crypt. Are you actually just Creativity? They might just be Creativity. Alright, Lotus Bloom. Draw Polluted Delta. Play the Conjurer's Bauble. I don't want to go off into a bunch of untapped mana. So I think I'm just going to pass here. They're going to draw 2, discard 2, and create a treasure token. They discard a pair of lands. Wooded Foothills. Dwarven Mine. So now they should be able to Creativity for 1. And that's what they're doing. Archon of Cruelty. We can discard the Reshape. I could have drawn a card in response. Maybe I'm supposed to. But we're having Lotus Bloom come off suspend on our turn anyway. So maybe the Reshape doesn't matter. That's at least my thought process here. Like, it gets you another Lotus Bloom, but I'm not sure if that's like the point that really... I'm just repeating myself. I don't know if that's all that matters. Like, we didn't want cards, and by holding it... Wow, that was an amazing hit. Holy moly. Yeah, that was good. Leyline Binding. What is your target opponent? We're going to respond. Grab Watery Grave. Ouch. We'll Ghost Quarter the Swamp. And then we'll search out an island. Let's start drawing some cards here. We'll sacrifice the Lotus Bloom. Alright, so the Leyline Binding fizzles. That's probably what I should have done for... Oh no! I have to do this in my draw step. My bad. I messed up. I shouldn't have tapped the lands. I'm just all over the place right now. Please forgive me. Yeah, I definitely shouldn't have tapped the lands. I just made things a lot more difficult than it needed to be. Okay. If I lose this game, it's because I just did that. We'll put Reshape on the bottom. Open the vaults. That's an interesting one. These will trigger. I guess I should use the mana. Right? Like, if I'm going to lose this mana anyway, why don't I try to cantrip and see if I can hit another Open the Vaults? Or another Face Reward. We'll put the Bauble on the bottom. Or the Face Reward on the bottom. Cycle with the Star. And then we'll cycle with Star again. Okay, I did not hit. We can now go to our main phase. Play the Zern Orb. Play Polluted Delta. We'll fetch. Grab the Godless Shrine. Ouch. White, white. Search out a basic. Okay. We're just filtering colors right now. Make black mana. Sacrifice all of our lands to the Zern Orb. We have 7 mana, so if I Beseech, it's -1. So I'm going to bargain, sacrificing the Zern Orb, and we'll go get another Lotus Bloom. Pass that Lotus Bloom. Now we'll make white, open the vaults. Okay, I'll be honest with you, I was expecting the lands to come back there. Kind of forgot that they wouldn't. So we have some draws still. We're doing okay. And I can also reshape for Citadel. I am 1 mana short of that line. Let's put Beseech on the bottom. Golden Egg. Filter with Chromatic Star. Make a blue this time. Preordain. Let's cast Preordain. Beseech the Mirror is an amazing hit. We'll take that. Okay, so now we'll do black, black. Play the Bauble. Open the vaults on the bottom. We'll just filter these so that way we draw cards when they re-enter. Play Sphere. We'll filter that for a black mana as well. Alright, so now our lands will come back. We'll grab a Faith's Reward. Cast that. Okay. Paying a bunch of life that I don't need to, but I'm going to. I'm at 12. We drew open the vaults again. Let's fetch. That is our last fetchable. Okay, so this is 8 mana, I believe. And now we can go grab the Bolas Citadel. Sacrifice a Golden Egg. Oh, Citadel. I guess we'll Deadly Dispute away Golden Egg. Fate's Reward. I mean, I don't need to cast this right now, so let's cycle. We'll go to 8, 7, 6. We'll use a Bauble to put Fate's Reward on the bottom and draw a card. Put Beseech the Mirror on the bottom and draw a card. Chromatic Star. Lotus Bloom. Let's sacrifice some lands. Okay, we're almost at the end of this. My apologies. We'll sacrifice 1 Lotus Bloom. Do I have 10 here? I believe I do. So let's sacrifice everything. Okay, and then we'll Faith's Reward, bring it all back. And now we'll activate Bolas' Citadel again. And that is game number 1 versus Creativity. Okay, we got away with one there. Some poor play, but I still managed to win, which is great. And now we're going to game number 2. I don't think I want Leyline of Sanctity versus the Leyline Binding deck. I am interested in Thoughtseize. They got this Deadly Dispute. Maybe shave 1 Golden Egg and a Preordain. I don't know what I'm doing. Hit submit. Game number 2, and we've opened up a real clunker. We're going to send that one back. Okay. This is probably fine. We'll keep this, and let's bottom the Swamp. No, actually, let's bottom the Preordain. Because if the Preordain's just going to look for land number 2 anyway, then we should keep the land. And I will remember, I promise, I will remember to suspend Lotus Bloom on the first turn this time. In fact, it will be the first action that I take. We draw a Reshape, we'll suspend the Lotus Bloom, play the Swamp, play Chromatic Sphere, pass. You could say like, oh, well, you drew Reshape, you want blue on turn 2 so you can Reshape. I don't plan on playing Reshape on turn 2 anyway, so I'm just going to play the Golden Egg. That was my thought process. Maybe you should play Hollow Town no matter what, but I don't think it's technically wrong to play the Swamp. Someone with more Eggs experience can probably chime in there. Our opponent plays a Preordain. We draw a Spellbomb, ouch. Play the Golden Egg. Draw a Lotus Bloom. Maybe I should have suspended that. I hit F6 after casting the egg. So maybe you're not supposed to do that. Because you can draw into Lotus Bloom. Like, I figured I wasn't doing anything else and I want to save time when I'm at 14 minutes. So I just hit F6, and obviously I drew a card where I could have suspended it. So slightly punished there. All right, Lotus Bloom suspend, counter. Yeah, I definitely should have suspended this last turn. I clicked through it. We'll play a Spellbomb. Watery Grave. I don't think I want to reshape this turn. I just want to pass. They play Dwarven Mine. Now we should be unsuspending this Lotus Bloom. Lotus Bloom gets a little bit more dicey when Reprieve has been a popular card in these creativity decks. Lose Focus. That's a spicy one I wasn't expecting to see here. And we cannot pay 4, so this Lotus Bloom will go straight to the graveyard. We'll take a draw. Watery Grave. Play the Watery Grave. And I think we're just going to pass. Our opponent attacks for 1, we'll go to 17. And if they try to cast Creativity, we can always kill their creature with the Pyrite Spellbomb. Lotus Bloom loses another suspend counter. We draw land number 5. Okay. So we'll take 1, we're at 16. We will attempt to cast another Lotus Bloom. Another Lose Focus. Okay. This time we can afford to pay for it though, which is nice. Alright, we have paid for Lose Focus. I'm just going to pass the turn. Oh, I forgot my draw step. Oh, that was my upkeep. Oh, I'm so dumb. That is twice now. Real dummy moves over here. I mean, I probably would have passed anyway, if I'm being completely honest, had I realized. But I should have not have passed the turn in my draw step or my upkeep in case I drew something I actually wanted to play that turn. We'll take 1. We go to 15. They play land number 3 with 5 cards in hand. I am not very good with this deck. That is what I learned in this league. Tear Asunder. Why are you like this, opponent? Why? Alright, 2 Lotus Blooms down. But I do have this Open the Vault, so we can get those back eventually. We draw a Golden Egg. I guess now all thought sees them. Leyline Bindings and Creativities are left. I guess we'll play a Golden Egg. My egg now resolves. We drew another Thoughtseize. Okay, let's fetch with the Delta. Grab a Godless Shrine, so that way I can cast the Open the Vaults off lands, possibly. And we'll Thoughtseize again. Do you have an untapped... I mean, it would probably be like a Sacred Foundry if they had something. But we're leaving them with double Creativity in hand. Another Dwarven Mine. They attack for 2, we'll go to 6. I might be dead here. They can... plus get a land back, get another Dwarven Mine, and then Creativity for 3. Even through my Spellbomb killing a... Yep. The Thoughtseize actually killed me. How about that? And I am dead. Okay, so we can go to the next one now. Brutal. Be mad at me, I'm boarding out Codex Shredder. I would rather have a Preordain in my deck. Eggs players everywhere, very upset. The final game of the league, we are on the play. Sure, we'll keep. Suspend Lotus Bloom, Island, and we'll play Chromatic Sphere. Playing the Sphere, not the Star, because Star can be sacrificed and you draw a card. And I want to draw a card. I want to filter into a black to cast this Thoughtseize. They play Jetmir's Garden. Okay, Lotus Bloom goes down to 2 counters. We'll draw a card. We did not draw the land we wanted, but we did off that. Wonderful. Thoughtseize. Flusterstorm and Force of Negation. Wow. We'll take the Force of Negation. Thoughtseize again. Take the Flusterstorm. Pass the turn. Wooded Foothills. I mean, maybe I'm supposed to take the Lose Focus, but like, I feel like Flusterstorm is like, I could theoretically win through a Lose Focus. I don't know if I can win through a Flusterstorm. That's why I took the Flusterstorm. That said, Lose Focus might be able to counter my Lotus Bloom. Delta, Bauble, play a Star. We'll pass. Yeah, they can counter my Lotus Bloom here. Was I supposed to take the Flusterstorm? I don't know. I feel like I can never beat that card, but maybe that's just my inexperience showing. Unsuspend Lotus Bloom. We know that they still have Creativity and a Scalding Tarn in hand. No point in paying for the first one because I can't pay for the second one. Chromatic Sphere. I think we're going to play out both of these. Our opponent could put an Archon into play on their turn. They have Scalding Tarn into Creativity. They grab the Dwarven Mine. That looks like the plan. Okay, so they're giving me a window here, but I have to pretty much draw the nuts this turn. So let's see what we can do. Draw. Land. Okay. We'll put Lotus Bloom on the bottom. Draw card. Another land was not ideal. Let's filter Chromatic Sphere into a black. Okay, we'll make another black. Beseech the Mirror. So I can cast that for Face Reward, but we don't have a Lotus Bloom. I might just be dead. So we can bargain away the Chromatic Star. Drew a Bauble. So if I get Face Reward, I'm returning Delta and 4 artifacts. Is that enough? The answer is no. I think I'm just dead. I mean, I could get a Lotus Bloom and then Conjurer's Bauble to draw a card, but even if I drew Reshape, it's a break even on mana and I don't have anything to sacrifice. We are dead. Okay, so I've realized that I've probably made tons and tons and tons of play mistakes in this league. Once again, not an eggs expert. Deal with it. I mean, if you want to watch eggs experts, I'm sure they exist somewhere. But these are my thoughts of this league. I did not like Codex Shredder. I think the triple Lotus Bloom plus Faith's Reward stuff is like kind of the definition of win more. I realize that it's an infinite loop and you don't have to think anymore, but Codex Shredder is just a bad card every single other instance that you don't have infinite. And I don't really like cards like that in my deck. I feel like they're a little cheeky. I'd rather just play more consistent cards. I also am not a huge fan of this Deadly Dispute. So those are cards that I would look to possibly cut. I don't know if there's anything better than Golden Egg. I feel like this card is a little bit clunky at 2 mana. And if there was another 1 mana artifact we could play, I'd be interested in that. It's not that I really hated this card. It's just like it felt a tiny bit clunky was all. I thought the one Open the Vaults was good. I loved Reshape, Faith's Reward, Beseech the Mirror. All those things felt really good. Bolas' Citadel was amazing. I just want to streamline the deck a little bit. And I think having the Codex Shredder, it dates back to like the second Sunrise win, and I don't know how good that really is anymore. It's kind of my issue, but I would like to add in a 4th Urza Saga as well. I feel like the deck might want something like main deck Thoughtseize or main deck Pact of Negation or something. We really struggle against counter magic, which I face very little of in this league, and we can't really beat an Endurance, so I feel like you probably need something. If you play Wishclaw Talisman, you do gain access to like Face Reward and stuff, but if you even played a single Pact of Negation, it's like having 5 Pact of Negations in your deck. So Wishclaw Talisman might be something to look into, but I understand it doesn't loop with your Face Reward stuff because it goes to your opponent. These are just random thoughts that I'm having, but I feel like the deck needs some sort of interaction, which is kind of just my point here. I've done enough rambling. Once again, not an eggs expert. Please remember that. But the deck was fun. So thank you, Gavin. I really do appreciate it. Have a great day, everyone, and keep storming. If you enjoyed today's video, you might also like the Eternal Glory podcast featuring myself, Bryant Cook, alongside Bosch and Roll, Brian Cobal, Anthraven U, Phil Gallagher, as we discuss legacy concepts, theories, strategies, and so much more. We're available on all major podcast platforms, as well as YouTube. Also, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.